Alright, welcome to this week's video. Today we're going to be talking about Halo 4 and specifically the new controller configuration. So they're all brand new for Halo 4. There's nothing resembling Halo 3, Halo Reach. So let's just dive right into it. So the very first one I'm going to take a look at is the default one. This is the one that most people play on for whatever reason you want. So some noticeable things here: the throw grenade, the fire weapon, same location. Switch weapons, why, we're all familiar with that. But one area I want you to take a look at is in the jump, the action, and the crouch layout. So now crouch is B. I'm a big fan of toggle crouch with the control stick. You notice now on the left-hand control stick that it's movement and then sprint, much like you click it and you sprint. Some people are going to like this, but I already see one issue, that if you're jumping, you're going to have to take your finger off the look and zoom stick on the right now. We had the same issue in Halo 3. That's why a lot of people like bumper jumper, which I'll talk to you about next. And the same thing with action or reload. Now, the X button is familiar for some people for the action or reload, but the big issue I find with this control layout is really that crouch and that jump button. You're going to have to remove your finger from the look and zoom, which for you, if you're jumping in the middle of air or you're having some issues, can be a really, really bad thing to do. Melee is on the right bumper. That's a little bit of bumper jumper right there for you. It's an alright location, not my biggest fan, but some people are just going to stick to default and just go with that. So moving on to the next one, everyone's favorite bumper jumper. Now the bumper jumper from Halo 3 is a good example of what pros use in MLG. Main reason is because jump and melee are now on the bumpers. This gives you the ability to jump and melee and still be able to aim, because now you don't have to remove your thumb off that look and zoom right stick like we saw on the default to jump or to melee someone. Now this big one, it did add the movement and crouch back to the left control stick. I really like this. This is what I'm looking for. That's what I want to keep. The select grades, the deep grenade, the D-pad, no problem with that. Throw grenade, fire weapon, all the same. Switch weapons. The one thing right here that's going to be a little tricky for some people is going to be the sprint and the used armor ability. Once again, you're going to have to move your finger from the right control stick now to hit sprint. Sprint's going to be used often. It's the #1 armor ability in Halo Reach for a reason. People are going to want to use it. I think switching up also the armor ability, which is X, that needs to be moved as well. I think that's going to be, again, another issue. If I want to jump and use my, let's use an example, my jetpack, for example. Well, how am I going to do that now? I got my jump, which is alright. I can move with my left control stick, but to use my jetpack, now I have to move my finger off my right control stick, which is also kind of my directional pad for flying, just to go flying. I think that's going to be a big issue, and they should kind of look into that. Other than this, bumper jumper, it's the classic, not too many changes to it. I think a lot of people will use that one. So the next one, the boxer. Now the boxer is so named because you have melee on the left control, the left trigger, just like you're going to unbox someone. This one overall, it's a pretty strong controller layout, I believe. The armor ability on the left bumper I find is a much better location than X or A or B. Fire weapon, throw grenade is on the right bumper. That's alright. Movement and crouch on the left stick, love that. Look and zoom, that's not going to move anywhere. Grenade selection on the D-pad. Jump is on A, B is sprint. Action reload is X. I find this one really, really strong. I'm just not a big fan of the melee on the trigger. But if you like that, this is going to be a really good control layout, I think. You don't have your fingers moving too much. Once again, you do have the issue of taking your finger off your look and zoom stick just to hit sprint, jump, and action reload. However, action reload, you press it once, it's done. Jump, same thing, and sprint. The one issue, like the default, is to jump, you have to move your finger off the look and zoom, so you're temporarily unable to aim and jump at the same time. The next one, FishStick. Now, for all of those Call of Duty players out there that are going to give Halo 4 a chance, this is, I feel, a tribute to you. Very, very similar to Call of Duty. You got your zoom on your left trigger to begin with. That's unheard about in Halo. Some people love it. There might be the issue of, is this easier now to quickscope because you got your zoom on your left trigger? We'll have to see to find out, but it's definitely a big advantage over the right click of the right stick. You got your melee and look on your right stick, much like Call of Duty. Use armor ability on the left bumper, good place for it. Movement, sprint, select grenade, all in the same places. Fire weapon, throw grenade on the bumper, switch weapons. Everything else over by the Y, B, A, and X is the exact same. The big thing here is that melee zoom switch. I'm not going to be using this one. I find zooming with the left trigger a little odd, but for all those Call of Duty players out there that are going to give Halo a shot, I think this one is going to let you transition the easiest between controller layouts. Next one, the green thumb. Now, oh, the green thumb. What a thing over here. So this is almost like FishStick, just a slight little twist. So you got your zoom on your right bumper now. This is an awkward location. I find this is just a silly place. Armor ability, once again, they left on the left bumper. Throw grenade, those are all easy, but the zoom and the melee are switched. So you have your melee on your right stick, much like Call of Duty. You click it, you melee, you bash them, and then instead of putting the zoom on the left trigger, like they did, they put it on the right bumper, which I still think is a bit of a weird place for it. Everything else, though, is the exact same on this layout. Now, Recon. This is probably the one I'm going to be using. This is kind of a tribute to the Halo 3. I think this is the closest we have to a Halo 3 controller layout that we're going to get on Halo 4. Your throw grenade, your fire weapon, same place. Armor ability is on the left bumper, similar to Halo Reach. Your action reload is on the right bumper, sticking with Halo 3, thank you. Melee is on the B. A is jump, look, zoom, everything's the exact same. They switched the select grenade from the left bumper to the D-pad, mainly because they had to add the sprint button. Now sprint is X. Now, once again, I don't think this is going to be too much of an issue for sprint, just because I hope you just click it once it activates it, or if you have to hold it for the entire time, this is going to be a big issue because you have to take your finger off of the look and zoom directional stick on the right hand side. Now this one still has the issues where the jump button, you have to take your finger off because you won't be able to aim when you jump. A quick little jump button here and there, or just slight move of the thumb off it, are small little fixes, but they're not the whole fix to everything. And now the very last one is good old SouthPaw. Now I've never used this one, I've never tried. It's just a flip of the trigger. So you got your fire weapon and melee on the left hand side, and your throw grenade and armor ability on the right hand side. Everything else though is the exact same. This is a big one for some people. I've never used it, I never liked it. So this was just an overview of the controller layouts that we're going to be having for Halo 4. I wanted to let you guys know what they're going to be, so you're going to be well aware when you jump into the game. Hey, I got this one: Recon, default, bumper jumper, and his giver. Problem solved. So if you have any more suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you online on Halo 4.